do you want to intro this sheesh combobulator?
Excuse me.
Top quality content here.
That's because I've been filled up by the great quality of the first two episodes. A delight, a veritable feast. Hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. My name's Paul, and as always, I'm joined by
Thomas.
We're about to watch episode 3 of the War Games. We've actually had a little bit of a break since episode 1 and 2 that we watched at the same time. Blimey. It's a good job that we didn't have this break in the middle of the Space Pirates, because I think we might never have returned.
Yeah.
But we've been loving this so far. So at the end, didn't they get the ambulance went through time and here we are, Roman soldiers.
That's it. It's a real kind of Back to the Future moment.
Oh, we said this was Cookmere Haven, didn't we?
Yeah, which is near where we live. We're not going to divulge too much information about where we live because there are people who are looking for us. And yeah.
HMRC.
Nice and ensemble shot there. You don't see that so often now, like framing lots of characters in one shot. It normally, for ease of editing and stuff, you just shoot loads of singles and then just cut between them.
So this map here with the time zones. It's been a really good little start to this story, hasn't it? The first two episodes really sort of came out the gate.
Yes.
Absolutely. On fire. Oh, this is the guy who we said looks a bit like, reminds me a bit of Toby Jones.
Yes. I love the idea of the map with the time zones because it's almost like as you travel physically in this car, you are moving temporally, as they might say.
True.
And obviously it's a nice little touch because we talk about time zones, don't we, in terms of changing the clocks when you go on holiday.
That's true.
But this means time zones in a very different way. You're literally going to a different time.
Yeah, that's true. That's a nice little spot.
I really do like that theme, the kind of
yeah, we've had it's a little recurring one, right?
Yeah, and it's weirdly, I think this is the first Doctor Who story of the classic era I've watched where I've thought, oh yes, that is the theme of that story. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously lots of stories have had very distinctive music, including the Space Pirates with that kind of very ethereal female voice, but like a very identifiable, almost John Williams theme, where you're like, that is the theme of that episode.
Yeah, there's a couple of stories I can think of off the top of my head in the classic era that we haven't got to yet that have quite distinctive soundtracks. But yeah, we'll get there hopefully.
These don't look like very good restraints, do they?
No, it looks like he was wrapped in toilet roll.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So we've all played that game. Isn't the guy just on the floor behind the sofa?
Yes.
Like right next to him.
Peripheral vision.
The curse.
Yeah, is it that room? Yeah.
Well, he just went in and he was shouting, wasn't he?
That's hilarious. I love how they ran to hide, and it was the slowest burning fuse.
Yeah.
How long do you say you've been on attachment here?
Yeah, look, he's right down there.
He's
He's literally on the floor next to him.
Yeah, that's a bit hard to believe.
Even if he was properly gagged, he'd still be able to make some noise.
Yeah, he could roll around or just sort of try and yell through the gags. They'd definitely hear it.
Yeah.
Sorry about all this. Do hope you understand. Can't afford to take chances, you see.
We quite understand.
They gotta wait to get out. And he's gone, but they're waiting.
That is such a slow...
Cheerio.
Oh, that was nice.
That is not a name. I want your full name. Oh, very well. Dr. John Smith. Good. Now we are
Where did the John Smith thing sort of come from? Is it just is it the most common name?
Yeah, I think it's a bit like Joe Bloggs, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Jane Doe.
I didn't know that Joe blogs.
Trying to infiltrate through our lines.
Does anyone blog anymore?
You are spies.
I don't- What is a blog?
Tell me where you came from before you were picked up
Did you
by
ever
that
blog, Paul?
I've done some blogging in my time.
Oh,
Everything
legend.
seems to
We met at a space station.
Nice.
station.
Yeah.
And you? Where did you meet this man?
In Scotland.
Ach so.
A reference all the way back to
I was fighting
A Wheel in Space, isn't it?
You were fighting
Yeah, and they're the Highlanders. Literally Troughton's second story.
ambulance.
Yeah.
Going to a hospital or to a lunatic asylum?
I'm not quite sure about this man's German accent. He seems like he can't quite decide whether he wants to do it or not.
This is our screwdriver now.
Yes. So small, isn't it?
Sonic screwdriver. Right, actually being
Hey.
used as a screwdriver. This may be the only time in Doctor Who history.
That's really cool, actually.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Believe me now.
And that's how he proves that he's from beyond, in a sense. He
Yeah,
uses his sonic screwdriver
bit of
to
DIY.
unscrew a screw. I love that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Look at that guy. He's got a good look about him.
Where do you come from?
Yeah, I'd be scared if I was in the same room.
Where do you come from?
I wonder how they did that. Do you reckon there's someone under the table pushing it up?
And then you put it back again.
That's right.
Yeah, it must be a screw from the other side, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something like that.
it's quite effective.
Yeah.
We've got lots of tricks like
I love those just small little special effects.
I keep looking at that guard thinking who he reminds me of. It's Jack Whitehall,
that. Perhaps
the comedian. That's who it is. Mate, you know what I'm going to say in a minute.
Did you have
What?
a comfortable trip, sir?
excellent.
Wait
Top
for a
of the
close-up.
pops.
Warlord is pleased with our work.
It is a bit top of the
Rate of
pops.
progress must be accelerated.
Report from my zone, sir. The prisoners that escaped from the chateau have been Greek captured in the German lines.
This is very
I'm
weird.
advised they'd be shot immediately. They tell some ridiculous story about being time travelers.
Time.
Sideburns!
Yay!
I want them brought here.
Time travelers.
Description of the prisoners is as follows.
I wonder.
Nice bit of internal monologue.
Internal
there.
monologue. We don't get much internal monologue in Doctor Who, do we?
Yeah, well, it's funny. Whenever I see it, I tend to think, oh, they just decided that part wasn't clear enough, so let's
Yeah.
just narrate what a character's thinking. But it can be done really well, can't it? Because it's kind of
Exposition.
yeah. Because obviously in a book, you're doing it all the time because you're just talking about how a character's feeling and stuff, and we
Yeah.
don't really bat an eyelid.
I think giving a character an internal monologue when we don't really have it very often,
Yeah,
works as a signifier that in some way we're supposed to, like, the character's important, I guess.
yes, yeah, that's interesting.
Like, otherwise, why would we be getting an insight into their mind as opposed to someone else?
That's true.
Guys.
I'm believing these as gunfights. You know,
Yeah, no, yeah, I get that.
they've come away from the gunfighters, haven't they?
I didn't quite believe that punch there, but I thought he was going to shoot him dead on the ground right in front of him. That would have been pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not quite John Wick, is it? But it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, that was, I believe that punch. That was
Yeah.
a good punch from Jamie. I'm going to write that down. That's how much I liked it.
Punch and Jamie. They're probably like, oh, Jamie, you're meant to fake it.
Yeah.
Just knock that guy out.
It's the Monty Python. No, it's actual horses.
Yes.
Well, it was King Arthur. Tell me you've seen the Holy Grail.
Oh, yes, of course. A while ago,
Goodness.
but
Thank goodness for
absolutely.
that.
That's a nice device filming up through the transparent table. Is it lieutenant or lieutenant?
I believe lieutenant. Oh gosh. I think lieutenant is the British way. Is that right?
Right, yeah, because
Lieutenant is American.
Forrest Gump says Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant, of course. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Dan. So in answer to your question, it is lieutenant because
Right.
it's our language.
And it's aluminum, right? Oh, the TARDIS is back. That door is quite nice. It's a bit impractical. You have to turn hard right or left to get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at these guys. They're like, "Ugh."
Imagine trying to get a sofa in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Look, a proper backdrop. This is great old school set stuff, isn't it?
And total lack of peripheral vision again.
Yeah. This looks like the Nativity.
It does, actually.
Doctor! No, sorry, no!
It's been a long time since I had a wagon wheel.
No!
It was a great cliffhanger, and your line was perfectly timed. What, as in the thing with a marshmallow inside?
Yeah. Well, I just saw it in the background there, and it got me thinking. No, so
Wow. That's one of your finest, Paul.
that's no problem. Well, what did you make of that?
I think there's a lot of great stuff in there. It flew by, really. I think a great cliffhanger. I loved Jamie kind of running to this sort of ship as it was dematerializing and sort of grasping at it, but it had gone. And yeah, that was nicely done. And just the sense of the time zones and building this. Okay, we're seeing inside the kind of evil, well, potentially evil sort of headquarters behind all of this tomfoolery. We don't really know what they're up to at this stage, do we? But we're kind of getting a glimpse of their control base, and it's clearly way beyond the technology of Earth. So,
And interesting, they seem to be
World War
sort
One,
of
yeah.
setting them against each other, just merely for their own sort of, partly for their own amusement, maybe for some sort of, maybe a more specific testing reason, but.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? That line where he was like, "Oh, I'm going to put my army there," when they were at the transparent table, and one was like, "I'm going to put my army here," and then the other was like, "Ah, yeah, but then I can do this." And it was, yeah, as you say, kind of they're just sort of playing with them,
Like a game.
the war game.
Yeah. So.
Do you think that's a comment on how in war there's a sense of people at the very top just sort of shift armies around, but then it's very different for the soldiers actually on the ground? I don't know.
Yeah, it may well be. You know, it's not an uncommon sort of belief, is it, that it operates a bit like that? So,
yeah.
I thought. I mean, there's a lot in there. I thought it was a few things in that episode that I enjoyed. I mean, just generally, I enjoyed the episode. I'm not sure it's moved. Well, I was going to say, has it moved us forward that much? I suppose it's propelled us now towards something a little bit different, with Zoe disappearing in the craft and the introduction of these figures manipulating things. But there was a little bit of a runaround, wasn't it?
Yes.
So
riding around on wagon wheels.
But you know, there were some bits in there that I liked. But I liked the sonic screwdriver being used as a screwdriver.
Yes.
And they were determined to get their money's worth from that shot, weren't they? They were like, well, here's it coming out. Here's it going back in. Oh, he's had his memory wiped. Let me show you again. Coming out.
Yeah.
And going back in.
Yeah.
So
that was quite funny. Yeah.
And I just thought, you know, like you said, there was some good work in there with the gunfights on location that looked very good. And then I really believed that Jamie's and that guy sold that punch. And you're right, it's not easy to make that look good, particularly on a Doctor Who budget, but I think they've pulled it off. It felt real, as you say.
Yeah.
I do like what I was saying at the end there about the sets there with the backdrops behind it, the matte sort of paintings. Because they're having to go between, you know, what is great location shooting and then probably much more limited space. Well, definitely more limited space in a studio, but you've still got to make it feel like those things are connected in some way. And I think it works. You know, you can tell there's a difference in the footage, you know, the type of what it's been filmed on, I guess. so that's noticeable, but it sells it well enough because of the sets, I think. So I think it's a successful episode.
Yeah. What was the punch they were trying to sell? Was it sangria or something? Sorry.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Do let us know what you thought of this episode and the story as a whole in the description, in the comments below, and also join our Discord in the description box below, and let us know your questions for our season 6 review, which is fast approaching because how many episodes we've got left? Just 7. Yeah. Getting there. Wow.
Yeah, we are. Lovely.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.